I wrote a story that Chris and I have, and for some reason it came easy to me. Here's why it came easy. It's sort of an action adventure, and I'm not into action adventure, so I don't have any set rules in my mind about how an adventure should go. So I wrote a couple drafts, and Chris looked at them and he said, okay, I think we need to add something that does this and something that does that, and he was exactly right. We rewrote it, and I think it came out pretty good. When I was a DJ, it was a little, country bumpkin, not country and country western, but rural, FM, AM, FM station. So I had to do a number of different kind of shows. And one of the shows I did was country music. On Friday nights, I did a country music show. I was really good at it. You know why? I didn't know anything about country music, and I didn't care anything about country music. I was freed from the rules. And this reminds me of another thing. There's a book that was popular in the 80s. It was about paradigm changes. And a paradigm is basically a set of rules. It's sort of the rules of the road. And every profession has its rules of the road. So what this author did is he went back and he wanted to find out when people made new discoveries in different areas, was there any commonality? What caused people to do that? And what he found was most major discoveries were created by two kinds of people. People that were already general, like they were in sciences, but they weren't in biology. Like Jonas Salk, who discovered the vaccine for polio, had a different idea. Don't hold me to this. He thought it was a virus and everyone else thought it was a bacteria. It was something, or vice versa. So he had not been in that field. He was new to the field, so he didn't have the rules of the road. The others were people that were brand new to a field. Okay? They just came to the field. And so they didn't know what was okay and what wasn't okay. I've often thought about cancer research in general is as long as cancer research is done by people who make a living doing cancer research, we're going to have a difficult time solving the overall problem. Because not that they're bad people and they're not making an effort, because they are, and they are making advances, but they have a set of rules of the road. And they're like looking inside a certain bubble, like all of us. So if you look at what's happened in the last 10 years in America and in the world, Jeff Bezos looked at bookstores and said, because he wasn't from the bookstore world, why do we need a brick and mortar store? I think I can do it a different way. And everybody said, this is insane, it will never work. He was not in the bookstore. He wasn't the head of, Walden Books, who is not here any longer. He had a different vision. He brought a different vision to the problem. And what you're seeing now, I know that the popular word is the disruptors and all this stuff. But what these are people who are coming into an area with a different way of looking at things. They're not ruled by the old rules. The problem is most of us have our own little bubble that we've created that keeps us locked in, to the little world that we know. So one of the things I've learned working for Chris and other creative people, and they've been generous to me along the way, is someone gave me a copy of Photoshop one time, an old client of mine, and then I discovered Flash because I always wanted to learn to draw, but I couldn't draw. I tried 100 times, but in Flash, there's a way to draw where you don't really have to know how to draw. You just drag the symbol, if you know Flash, you know what I'm talking about. And so I've put some animations up, and now I have all the programs, and I do stuff, and you know what? I'm not very good at it, but I love it. I'm making a puppet at home right now, because I gave myself permission to fail. And I don't have any expectation that I'm going to do good, quote, good animations. But I love doing it, so I do it. So I broke myself out with help, from people like Chris and other clients and people who knew about it.